Make sure you check them out this upcoming Sunday. They've got their baller contest back, $10 entry, $350,000 prize pool, and a nice 10% to first place. Great payout structure. And as always, make sure you enter their Yahoo Cup, now available for both NFL and NBA. And in NFL, of course, you set the perfect lineup, you can win $1 million. Only over on Yahoo Sports Daily Fantasy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sports Grade Fantasy Football Podcast, RotoGrinders Fantasy Football Podcast crossover show. You probably know this as the Gillcast. My name is Davis Maddock. I am joined by my buddies, Nate Noling, Sammy Reed, our fishy friends. Again, bad news. Another winning week for your fishy friends. Although I will say my cash team, not super good. I didn't sweep in cash this week, but made it back with a couple good tournament scores. Nate, how are you doing, my man?
Doing all right. I actually had a decent cash and tournament week, which normally doesn't happen for me.
Played three running backs, I heard.
Yeah, this week was a week where the running back value was.
You didn't think about going like Haller and Watkinson or Waller and Hawkinson just to get that double tight end exposure?
No, I'm able to adjust my reasoning based on the slate and the values, and not have these rigid roster rules when it comes to construction. So,
interesting. How do you feel about that? Sammy?
I feel like I'm disappointed. I feel like we shamed Nate into not playing 4 wide receivers this week.
No, yeah, it feels like he would have tried to get like Kirk and Fitzgerald or Paul Richardson and Trey Quinn or something.
No,
100%.
It was the fact that Gallman and Carrion were two incredible values.
I will say this though, Gallman not as owned as I thought. I thought this was going to be like a 90% play, not like a 70% play.
He was under 30% in the big $5 double up. I don't understand.
You got up to I always look at the 25s, like the massive 25s.
He was like 40 in that, right?
He's like 41. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I was telling you guys right before we started, like it was really one of those things where like double ups where Gallman was under 50% owned. I cashed those. Ones where he was not, I did not cash those because the rest of my team, I'll be honest, this was not like I don't think that this was my.
Davis
was this
was
my
the
best
low man
effort?
on the totem pole again.
Yeah.
Like 4 weeks
I scored 141. You scored 151. Sammy, what did you score?
174.5.
Jeez, I kind of forgot. You didn't play Keenan Allen though, so you have Gills.
No, I don't have Gills. In fact, I had 0% Keenan Allen on the entire slate. And
well, that I think was fine. I have zero umbrage with not playing Keenan Allen in tournaments at like absolutely absurd ownership. I think that's fine. I don't take any issue with that.
And frankly, for me in cash, it was just like going into the week. I mean, literally by Wednesday, I knew I was playing McCaffrey, Eckler, and Gallman, and that just wasn't changing. And so it was really just a matter of saying I'm going to prioritize having this running back core over Keenan Allen in a game script where the Chargers rated to smash, and he probably wouldn't get those 10-plus targets. And lo and behold, that's what happened.
All right, quarterback. Did we all play Danny Dimes?
Yeah.
So I actually think we ran extremely bad with him. So I think the interceptions are whatever. Like he's a rookie quarterback, and he makes even when he makes questionable decisions. That's just something that exists about him. But they did not. You would not project the New York Giants to be in a game script where they don't have to pass in the second half at all. Like this is a bad football team. And, the Washington Giants are only like one standard deviation worse than them. So I think we kind of ran bad, only getting, basically one half of Daniel Jones trying.
Kind of. But we all played Wayne Gallman too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like take Jones and Gallman together and they scored like 43 points. I think that was a reasonable expectation for like the pairing. Like if you're going to mash the New York Giants like key offensive players, that's a scary proposition, and I think it worked out fine.
Yeah, but basically what ended up happening is Jones was like the worst GPP slate of the day, like super low score, super chalky. The options you paired him with, like the stock options, or the stack options were chalky, and the bring back options in tournaments, every single one of them was horrible. So like if Daniel Jones was in your tournament build, that killed 25% of your lineups just right off the bat.
Yeah, but in cash games, I think when you look at like the Jones Gallman combination, like if Jones would have put up 26 and Gallman would have put up 16, you would have been happy at the end of the week.
Yeah. And I mean, it is worth mentioning Russell Wilson, 14.3 DraftKings points, Daniel Jones, 14.3 DraftKings points. I thought that was so fascinating that the two chalkiest options at the position literally scored the exact same amount of fantasy points. Like I thought that's one of those things we'll never see again, I think.
That was fun, but it wasn't, besides the Rams game where Goff and Jameis went off, there wasn't a lot of quarterback matching at all anywhere. Like Deshaun Watson wasn't great, Mahomes wasn't great. A lot of the guys.
Stafford was the masher, and he was like 3% owned and stuff, which was even an early only. My best team that I showed you guys that I was sweating was the Stafford Kenny G team, and he was 3% owned and early only, which you like never see stuff like that, which people were just worried about him being hurt.
Stafford and Lamar were the only two that had like above projection quarterback.
They were probably also worried about him sucking, in fairness to Stafford.
I mean, Stafford's been extremely good this year.
Yeah, in this spot, I actually had some Stafford GPP teams as well. In this spot, I think Stafford was fine GPP play.
You guys are fish.
You don't think Stafford was a good GPP play?
I mean, he was fine. Like you can make a case for anybody in GPPs if you want to. So
no,
sure.
I don't think that's true. I don't think you can make a case for anyone. I think you should be trying to make cases like I think good tournament players make cases against guys to try and limit their pool as much as possible. But I thought Stafford with the team total and what we've seen quarterbacks do against Kansas City thus far was really good.
He's like second in air yards on the year, Sammy, and he was in a spot where he was going to have a ton of volume in this. So like, even if you don't think he's going to be super efficient, which is what you get with guys like Jameis and you play them, it's not because you expect them to have the most – I don't want like my high efficiency passers like all the time in tournaments. I'm looking for –
Whatever, Stafford's ass. Let's move on.
Well, I mean, that is definitely true.
I just disagree.
No.
I mean, he's literally the second – highest air yards on the season through 4 games. He
is having the most efficient season of his career. So I guess if you want to think about it that way,
and you
that
combine
is true.
It with the volume, he's throwing. He's got an 8 out of 5.
Sammy's tilting. Did we all
tilted? You didn't look at Detroit enough.
Did we all? We did not all three play the same running backs though. So we did all agree Gallman was like a lock, right? Like best play of the slate.
Yeah, I thought Gallman was frankly better than Carrion, and I know Carrion was a really good value, and I know he's popping in projection models. I had misgivings about his passing game volume, and that's really what you want out of your low-priced running backs. And I just thought Gallman had better passing game chops than Carrion did, and I think that bore out. So I didn't think spending the extra $800, like there was a case for doing both of them, but then you go Keenan Allen. I just didn't choose that route, but I thought that Gallman was like just better than Carrion flat out.
Gallman was the best running back play by far. And I think if you did Gallman, you should evaluate your process.
Yeah, I locked him in the early only slate, and I played him at I think like 55% in main and put him in all my hand built lineups, and he was again like the first guy in cash. I think this actually belies something that people are pretty bad at, which is they still really do think running backs matter. So they look at the New York Giants offense and they're like, oh, well, Gallman's not going to be as good as Barkley, so his usage isn't going to be as good. But like if you knew you were getting Barkley's touches, which was pretty much exactly what he got Barkley's touches. And
for half the price.
Yeah.
Half. And he's not going to get half the points. That's just it's just hashtag math, you know?
It's just people are bad. Like that's really all it is. And whatever he costs next week, I'm sure it's like way more, and I'm sure he's going to be way more owned. And then that'll be a discuss. Like, you know, I don't even know what his price is, but if he's 6,500 or whatever, that's going to be a different conversation because, you know, he is not as good of a player and doesn't create value on his own. But we also all played Eckler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But people were trying to talk themselves off of Eckler all week.
That's wild. That's just sheer buffoonery and insanity. And
Before Jackson was out, when there was uncertainty of Melvin Gordon role, I do think there was reason to not.
Yeah, I agree.
I do think, Sammy, you being locked on him all week before the news came out of
shows how sharp I am. Yeah.
No.
I mean, Justin Jackson was taking away all the red zone work, all the red zone rushing work. So it was a real thing. And I mean, Tremaine Pope did actually score the first running back touchdown of this game. So that could have led to, because not only that, obviously we all played Eckler in tournaments and stuff too. So it just would have been an unkind situation had this been the Tremaine Pope game.
I mean, no other running back you pay $8K plus for that has shared responsibility. If you're paying $8K for a Christian McCaffrey, you don't want to see two other running backs behind him that are going to get significant workload. And until you knew what was happening with Gordon and Jackson, you could not have paid up $8K for him in cash.
Well, this Gallman price, bro.
What is it?
It's 5.9, right?
Oh,
it's 5.4, but they play at home to the Vikings.
Interesting. Okay.
Well, defenses don't matter. So
defenses matter a little bit in terms of rushing efficiency, but he just had a 7-target game, so still going to be a play. Where we diverged, though, was Sammy made an interesting decision at wide receiver, but we also both played Christian McCaffrey, who got 37 touches of the football in this game and scored a lot of fantasy points, quite a few.
Davis, just imagine something really quick. Close your eyes and just imagine this. Not playing Christian McCaffrey in cash.
Imagine being the number one guy who is the volume whore of the three of us and whores the projections the most and being nah, I'm not going to play Christian McCaffrey.
Nate?
He saved my day, Nate.
Kerryon Johnson had 27 rushing attempts. It's not
as many as McCaffrey.
He had the same amount of rushing attempts and I think 3 or 4 targets compared to McCaffrey. Did get more targets, but at the same time,
he had 10 for 89 as a receiver.
Kerryon was 5-4, and you faded that.
I mean, frankly, McCaffrey ran bad to only get 33.9 because he was so close to both the rushing and receiving bonus. He actually ran pretty bad.
This is do you guys remember when Sammy faded the McCaffrey double bonus game?
Oh my God. I still have nightmares, bro, for James Conner.
I thought there was a chance on that last drive that we were going to have Nate fading a 45-point CMC game. I didn't want to say it out loud, but I thought it would have made very good radio.
Okay, so I pulled up the expected DraftKings output from today's games, and McCaffrey, Kerryon, and Wayne Gallman were the top 3. So
I do not. I am more with you than with Sammy. I thought Kerryon was fine. I don't think that you did anything bad, but I also
thought Kerryon was fine. He was just the 4th best play out of the running back.
That's the thing he was Sammy the 4th best guy.
I think, Sammy, you got lucky fading Keenan here, and if Keenan smashed in this spot, you would look like an idiot for playing 8.8 for McCaffrey and fading the value at running.
Bro, I scored 175 points. How many points does Keenan Allen need to score for me to not just destroy cash all day?
Well, he was 70% owned. Yeah. So if he goes nuke like he does last week, the cash line is just a totally different thing, and you would be more likely than not to be looking in on it. That's the point. That's the point that he's making.
175. Yeah.
The value that you paid for at wide receiver compared to the value that you would get at running back, a value at running back that's getting 27 rushing attempts and 3 targets with the expected touchdown that Kerryon gets, where you played – who'd you play at wide receiver? Trey Quinn? I mean –
yeah, I did.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
you can't fade the value at running and then pay it down. I don't know.
Dude, I had Davis texting me this morning. Bro, when are you waking up? Trey Quinn's a lock, bro. I'm like, wait, what?
Trey Quinn was a good play. I don't actually feel that bad about it. The point.
So, dude, he was wide open for a 50-yard touchdown.
Keenan missed him.
So
Keenan Allen, in these various double ups I'm looking at, it was between 80 and 90% owned. So if you do not have Keenan Allen, and Keenan Allen goes for 30, that changes the cash line and likely moves you. If you had 170, and you probably had Cooper Kupp in that slot. I guess
Yep.
Cooper Kupp, yeah. So you would have just needed 30 out of whoever you played over him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which I got. Like, let's just say it how it is.
Running so hot with the 68 Jared Goff dropbacks.
Yeah. Expect Jared Goff having 512 passing yards.
Cooper Kupp had like an 18% target share, but
still had 23 targets. Wasn't even the wide receiver one.
Wasn't even the top targeted wide receiver. I mean, I'm never
most insane game ever.
So many Jared Goff stacks, so close to binking, and then Cooper Kupp gets the touchdown instead of Robert Woods, just unbelievably tilting that all the chalk donkeys in GPPs were rewarded when Cooks and Woods were like 2 to 3% owned and stuff, which is insane given their total. That was so bad.
It's just so sharp to like just play whatever Rams receiver isn't popular. It really is, especially
next week. It's got next week. I don't even know who they play, but next week they play on Thursday.
Week.
Oh, well, dude, what if Gurley rests though? Because it's the short week.
Oh, Malcolm Brown and the captain.
Dude, if Gurley rests, I'm gonna be just like doing like confetti dances all over my house. It's gonna be a good situation.
I have no idea what to do with the Rams.
Here's the thing. Christian McCaffrey.
You just play the least popular one.
Dude, Christian McCaffrey had 27 rushes and 10 targets. Like, he is literally the best cash game player in fantasy football.
Yeah, this is like Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson 2016 stuff.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I think Christian McCaffrey is a good play. I was just saying this specific slate,
I think you should have played. I think if you really liked Carry-On, you should have played him over Eckler, not CMC. That's how I would have viewed the situation.
I mean, how can you play him over Eckler?
I had Carry-On in my lineup for about 3 seconds, and I was like, no, it's not going to work.
See, here's the thing. There were two high-price smash running backs with McCaffrey and Eckler, and there were two great low-price values with Gallman and Carry-On. I'm not saying Carry-On was a bad play, so don't get me wrong there, but the way you're thinking is I must get Keenan Allen in, and I can take two values at running back. And for me, it was just like, dude, give me like the best players who are getting all these touches, and let's just roll out. And that's like, dude, that's how you score like 85 points with three players.
It's true.
Like, Carry-On is not getting 8 targets. Like, it's just not happening. You know, he had 2 catches, 3 targets today. Like, that's fine, but that ain't it.
Yeah. All right, let's do wide receiver. Bro.
Are we going to talk about Trey Quinn right now, or are we going to say that?
Yeah, no. So I played Trey Quinn. Sammy, you played Trey Quinn. Who did you play, Nate?
I played Keenan Allen, Galladay, and Kirk.
So what? Just let me ask you, what did you think?
So bad, honestly.
No, it's not. It's like, I think Nate's lineup is fine. It's not what I would have played, but obviously it's fine.
Yeah, I agree. Those are 3 strong. I was big on Kirk this week.
all three of those guys were good plays. I can't even. I wish I could mock you. I wish you would have played someone actually bad, but you didn't.
Yeah, I wish you would have
was
Kirk in the flex. But
the receiver I was scaredest of fading was Lockett, and
No, I was not scared. I was not scared of fading Lockett at all.
Dude, I was scared of Lockett.
You're only tilting Lockett in this spot if Arizona gets a defensive special teams touchdown early, or if he catches a bomb in the first half. But when they were up 20-3, you were like, it's fine.
Oh,
like Lockett's getting no points.
Lockett was like, of those wide receiver values that I thought were playable in cash games, Lockett was the one that I thought had the easiest way of like not reaching value.
Of failing. Yeah.
So I faded him, but it wasn't a comfortable fade.
Yeah. So why did you not want to play Trey Quinn or Paul Richardson? Just because you're like, LOL, Washington's gross?
Yeah, they seemed super thin compared to the volume that I knew I was going to get from Allen. Galladay.
Quinn's had at least 6 targets in every game so far, 3K. Dude, I think he was a fine play. Like, I really actually don't feel bad about Trey Quinn playing. Like, I don't feel bad about it at all. I thought he was good.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad, so I kind of feel like you should. He was fine. Like, it wasn't.
But like slot wide receiver on a bad team, their run pass ratio is gonna be like 75-25. You know he's been involved. He's actually already scored a touchdown on the year, so you at least know that he has some small semblance of upside. For 3K, you don't get guys that are that playable at 3K that often.
Yeah, I don't think he was bad by any means. He just wasn't even in my 4 wide receiver. He wasn't in my top 4 wide receivers, or even maybe he'd be the top 5.
Well, you'll see why. You'll see why I made the decision to go there as we continue this journey down the road of wide receivers. I also played Keenan Allen because I don't have gills. I don't have gills like Sammy does. But
so rich.
I reapplied my gills when I clicked the little green icon next to Sammy freaking Watkins in my lineup. I mean, this guy, I tweeted this, and it's true. He is the pyramid scheme of fantasy sports. He has one absolutely absurd game about once every 18 months. He is theoretically the lead wide receiver right now in the Kansas City Chiefs offense, and instead he drops an easy touchdown. He almost lets a Patrick Mahomes end zone throw get intercepted because he gives up on what could have been a touchdown, and he fumbled the ball when he could have just went down. He could have just went down by contact, and he decided to lose me 2 more points. So, I mean, I did run bad to only get 7 points, obviously, but I didn't run that bad because Sammy Watkins just sucks.
I don't know. I want to call you a fish, but I thought Watkins was fine, honestly. Like, I don't know.
The rest of my lineup was exactly what I wanted, and Watkins was a want play, right? Not a math play. I had Cup like you did for most of the week, and then I saw we'll talk about it tight end, but I saw like a very obvious swap that gave me. And like once I saw it, I was like, "Oh, dude, I'm just gonna play this team. Like this is just what's happening."
I gotta spend this extra $300 now. Let's go, Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, like I just thought I did think that Watkins was, and I guess I wish I would have thought about it a little bit earlier because I played a defense that I didn't want to play at all, and like it didn't end up mattering because only one defense mattered in today's slate, really. I guess 2 actually. The Panthers defense did really well for cheap, but. Yeah, Watkins, I mean, just brutal.
Nate, give me a Watkins take here.
Watkins, the Chiefs passing game is so spread out that like paying 6.7 for a guy that you don't think is like achievable, a 30% target share or a whopper of like above 60 on his team. Like he's not the same guy that all these other guys, when you're paying 6-7 for a guy, I want a guy who's going to be like a Julian Edelman, a guy who's going to be like a Mike Evans, a guy who's like the clear target on his team that I can guarantee, a 25 to 30% target share. And you just can't with Watkins. Like there's so much volatility in his target share projection from a week to week standpoint.
Kind of, yeah. But like the first 3 games, he was 11, 13, and 8 in targets. Like, I don't know.
But
yeah. And this is an argument I've made with you in the past, but very clearly a target from Patrick Mahomes is worth a lot more than a target from any other quarterback. Like 8 targets from Patrick Mahomes should have a much higher fantasy point expectation than 8 targets from Derek Carr because his throws go further down the field more accurately.
Hey, Davis, how much is 4 targets from Case Keenum worth?
About three DraftKings points. Sammy, you actually missed this because you were sweating season-long baseball, I guess. But Case Keenum got injured in this game and benched, and then Dwayne Haskins came in and put together one of the worst performances I have ever seen a rookie quarterback do. Dwayne Haskins, not ready to play. He's really bad.
Can you be dust in like your first NFL start? Can you already?
I just think it literally looks like he has not been practicing. Like it looks like that he is just not, he doesn't know the plays and is just like randomly zinging things when he sees someone coming open. It was really bad. So that's, I don't know. Sammy, you don't think I'm a mega fish for playing Watkins? I should have just played Cup.
No, I mean,
you should have gone down to Galladay.
How much did Galladay cost? I had some.
Is Galladay Chargers what you have, Nate?
No, I went Galladay Broncos.
Oh, I think Galladay. I think that in my lineup, Galladay Chargers fits.
Yeah, Galladay smash, bro. I mean, he didn't even like knock it out of the park in terms of like receptions or yards, but he caught 2 touchdowns. Well, 3 really, but they like disallowed one.
But yeah. Galladay just has an insane volume on the season. I think coming into the week, I had him like second or third in like expected touchdown standpoint. And the reality is this is going to be the highest volume Detroit sees all season, basically going up against Kansas City in a in a high total game like this. You're not going to see Detroit in a game like this maybe again all year. And so it's like, if I know he's going to get the workload and it's at 5'9", it was hard for me to get off Galladay in almost anything, tournaments or cash.
Pretty good play. Not a guy.
Our stuff did not like. I guess maybe didn't like him that much, or maybe I just made so many edits to it. Like I definitely like gave like Sammy Watkins like a +50 boost for for tournaments. So that definitely skewed things a little bit. But I want to go look right now.
Is there a little fish icon that you press to like give him that bonus?
No, I've joked before that I wish that the optimizer had like some sort of like, are you sure you want to do this for the 3rd week in a row?
There's like
feature?
no way. There's no way that Watkins had like even within like a 5% target share projection of Galladay of any projection system.
Really?
I'll tell you right now.
There's got to be no way. Galladay is.
We have Watkins for 25% of the team's targets. And we have Kenny Galladay for 27% of the Detroit Lions team targets.
That's within 5.
Being a parent can be really challenging. Child and Family Resource Network focuses on connecting pregnant parents and those with kids under the age of 5 with free support services to help them on their parenting journey. Everyone deserves someone they can turn to for help with parenting. Visit childandfamilyresourcenetwork.org today.
Yeah.
Actually, those were my edited numbers. Watkins 23, Galladay 26.3. So a little bit wider than I thought, but still within 5.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, even with like just straight up no adjustments made to the projections at all, Watkins was our 2nd highest value wide receiver of the week. Galladay was 3rd. Our 5 highest guys were Keenan Watkins, Galladay, Kirk, Trey Quinn. Cooper Kupp was right there.
Yeah.
Trey Quinn.
Not a bad play. I guess I don't hate the Watkins thing. I had some Watkins in tournaments. I
had a lot of Watkins in tournaments.
He's priced so like he's priced where he needs to.
Yeah, I mean you gotta price a dude who can literally get 40 there though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
I'll be honest because I do play so much head to head. I definitely do. I price in ceiling a little bit when I'm making these decisions, because Sammy's talked about this before. There's definitely some upside in just getting the sweep, right? Like of just being like your lineup is so absurdly good, you're just not losing any head to heads. Like, so I do try and keep those things in mind a little bit. And I also knew Watkins was not going to be owned in cash at all, and he was not.
Yeah, and honestly, this is something that Levitan talks about a lot, where he's like, yeah, you need to consider floor, but he's like, when I, really started doing better at cash is when I started saying, I also want to go for ceiling because, yeah, you play so many head-to-heads, like finishing 90th percentile is a big deal. Yeah. If you're playing all 50-50s and double-ups, sure, you can, go for floor a little bit, but like, dude, at the end of the day,
well, I'm playing. I guess I'm playing this lineup in 3-mans, in 5-mans, in triple ups and stuff. So there is just a little bit of value in getting some ceiling for these. So, Sammy, what 3 wide receivers did you play?
I went Kupp, Lockett, and Quinn.
You just run like freaking God, man.
Yeah, I just run pure, bro. You should have seen what happened to me in seasonal baseball today. Like, it's just so great.
I really do not think that Lockett was a good cash play.
No, in retrospect, you guys are probably right. I mean, really, so when I got off of Russ and I got off of Disley, and we'll talk.
Yeah, you just wanted to have some Seahawks.
I wanted some Seahawks. I was like, dude, they're going to score a lot of points. They're going to run a lot of plays. I didn't want to be without Seattle, and so I kept them in. But looking at it as a whole, like I agree that was certainly a worry. And we talked about it upon my first build when it was like Russell, Lockett, and Disley, and it was just like, okay, that's a lot for a team that wants to run when they're up and should be up. And
your team probably would have been like literally the same because your quarterback scored the exact same, and Disley was like one of the highest scoring tight ends of the day.
That team ended up with like 160. I kept it in some tournaments because I was like, if this team smashes, I don't want to like.
You don't want to be miserable.
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you think about the Lockett play?
Lockett in a vacuum, I think, is a good play. It's just when you consider like Seattle and just the way that we've seen Seattle like in games when they get favorite, like going just run heavy to a point where Lockett could have easily seen 5 targets here. Like, and I think we just see games where Russell Wilson passes so infrequently that you're just like, I don't want to put too much exposure towards these guys, where I think like the Rams or other teams like that, even when they get ahead, like you just know certain teams are going to throw the ball 40 times plus.
They scored that first quarter defensive touchdown, and I was like, Lockett's dust.
But I think Lockett in a vacuum, like if I knew that they were going to run an efficient offense, I think I'd play Lockett.
If I knew this game script was going to include them throwing 35 passes 80% of the time or something like that, I would just be all in.
I mean, Lockett was very close to 2 touchdowns. Like he had one knocked away in the end zone, and he like went down on like the 2 or the 3 on another reception. Like it could have been better for him. But at the end of the day, you got 4 targets. Like that's not great, Bob.
Yeah. But I mean, and that's just the reality of like Seattle. They're going to be super efficient because Russell Wilson is so good and Lockett is good. It's just with their play calling, you can never guarantee the volume.
Yeah. Thankfully, I ran super hot with Cup. That worked out. So
you must have been tilting that for a while.
A little bit. I did text you guys and ask like if he was dead, and then he ended up with like 15 targets and did that thing where he like breaks off a ridiculous touchdown that like he shouldn't score. Like somebody should just.
I needed that to be Robert Woods so bad.
Dude, Woods smashed, but yeah, he didn't get the zone job.
Well, it's just because I'm not trying to play the chalkiest dude, so I ran all my golf stacks with Woods, Cooks, and Gerald Everett. So
Everett was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I had good teams, but not enough to like bank. Well, I also in the early only slate, I played Stafford and Galladay and everything, who was the nuts, but I nuked Chubb. I played 0 Chubb in the early slate. So I literally, it was like impossible for me to actually win anything.
The Woods thing, I think Woods ran super hot. I mean, Woods literally caught 13 of his 15 balls, which is
This is just going to lead to you playing Woods in cash. Like 2 weeks from now, you're going to look back and you're going to be like, dude, he had 15 targets.
But no, what I'm saying is like, I normally lean towards Woods, but I think Cup is the guy.
No, Cup's the dude. Cup's the dude. Then it's Woods. Then it's Cooks. And by the way, don't look now. Our boy, old TG, 11 targets and one of the most Todd Gurley ass touchdown runs you'll ever see, where he got the ball and he took 4 dudes with him into the end zone.
Yeah, he looked like he was shot out of a laser rifle, bro.
How bad do you think his knees hurt right now?
Oh, he is sleeping in a chest of
like
ice.
A hyperbaric chamber?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of the craziest things because he has looked so bad a couple times this year. That Browns game, I mean, you could have told me that he was I didn't even have a good. You could have told me he was Sean Green, where he just looked like he couldn't cut, he couldn't run pass routes, couldn't catch, couldn't do anything. And then he comes back. I wonder if he got some sort of treatment, like some sort of steroid treatment or some sort of like knee thing done.
I don't know, but he's kind of just been like running straight for the sideline when he gets near it, and on the touchdown, he just like ran straight for the end zone, which is like the first time he's done it all year.
It's first time I've seen him do that. So
maybe he thought it was the sideline. He's like, I gotta get out of bounds.
Well, that is like, honestly, that would be a huge development in fantasy football over the next 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. If Todd Gurley is Todd Gurley again, that completely changes the complexity of some of these slates, because we running back is getting thin, and now with Melvin Gordon coming back, so just to give you guys an example, on this next slate, Christian McCaffrey at home, 8,700. Alvin Kamara, 8,600. Dalvin Cook at New York, 8,400. I think the way that Ezekiel Elliott is playing right now, that's it. Those are the only elite running backs that you would want to play.
Dude, Zeke didn't come off the field tonight, though.
He looked like a donkey turd, and
Davis, don't scout your running backs.
Davis is grinding the film, buddy.
It's actually nothing to do with how he looks. It's just all to do with the fact that if that offense, if they go back to calling plays so horribly, where they just are running the ball on first down and second down all the time, that's super bad for all parts of that offense combined, and it just really lowers their ceiling.
Zeke is fine, bro.
I'm probably not going to play him against.
I think the best.
Well, maybe I will.
I think the main running backs that we should be looking at on a week-to-week basis are McCaffrey, Cook, Kamara, and then I would throw because we don't know what's going to happen with the Chargers, but I'd throw Bell and Fournette in that next tier with Chubb.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Fournette
gets workload.
Oh my god, that gave me. I've been a lifelong hater of Leonard Fournette, and I don't have a bad thing, dude. He literally. Leonard Fournette mattered today. They definitely do. They definitely do not win that game with Raquel Armstead getting 35 carries. Leonard Fournette just banged.
Have you added a draft cheat at all today after the Gallman performance?
I tweeted this great little nugget I found. So Barkley has now been active for it'd be 20 games. This is only the second time that the Giants have won a game by 5 or more points. And of course, Barkley was inactive for this game.
Strong.
The other time they won by 5 or more points was against the Alex Smith Washington professional football team at home. Alex Smith had 3 interceptions and was horrible.
That's pretty great.
So he's basically
running backs don't matter. If Zeke ever gets the workload again that he used to, Zeke will be in play. If Gurley
did Pollard even get any touches in this game?
I didn't see much of Pollard, but I haven't.
No, he got a target.
Yeah, so I think it's safe to assume Zeke whatever. They're done easing him back in.
Gurley though, I don't know if Gurley actually still his workload wasn't drastically different.
You didn't watch the game? You didn't see the film?
He did only get 5 carries to Malcolm Brown's 5 carries, but I don't.
Yeah, his offensive share is still. I mean, he was.
I don't think that Brown was targeted though, and Gurley was targeted 11 times.
Yeah, his offensive share though was still under 32%. They ran so many plays that I think a lot of people think Gurley's workload in this was back to his normal usage, and it's still not close to what.
7 targets for Tyler Higbee.
Yeah,
you love to see it. Okay, tight end. Did we all play someone different?
I think so. I played Waller.
I played Waller too.
Okay, so I'm the only sharp one. That's interesting.
No, you're the fish. Who?
I played Hawkinson.
Dude, you ran so good. Well, Hawkinson got hurt, I guess.
No, Hawkinson was the slot wide receiver for a team that threw 55 times. How many times did Matt Stafford throw? He threw so many passes, and only 34 times.
34.
Wow.
So you're only 21 attempts.
Wow. Well, I mean, honestly, that's crazy to me. I guess watching these games on Red Zone, you kind of don't get a sense of how things are flowing. I would
because Carry-On ran the ball 27 times.
If you would have asked me, I would have.
4 and Ty Johnson 3. Yeah, they're a balanced team.
I will say this. I just think Waller, I don't know what his price tag is next week, but I mean, literally the dude he's leading tight ends in weighted opportunity rating. He's leading tight ends.
Wow, dude. Waller is cheaper next week than he was this week.
I'm going to play him again. I mean,
can we just call him Darren Baller from here on out? He is smashing every single time out. He's getting so many targets. Huge share of this offense. They run design plays for him all the time. ISO routes. I was fine with the Disley chalk. But
no. Disley chalk.
Sammy, your Disley chalk was bad.
No, it
Disley
wasn't.
chalk was so stupid.
No, you guys are stupid.
Sammy with the comeback of the year. No, you're dumb. Sammy, defense first position stats are the dumbest reason to make a decision in fantasy football. It just is.
Yeah. How about implied team total in comparison to like cheap tight ends? Is that good? Yeah, that has correlation. And the reality is that Arizona gives up points to everybody, and Disley was part of that. And of course,
that's the thing. So you do make a point that
if you wanted to play a cheap tight end, it was Hawkinson.
Yeah, it was.
And if you wanted to pay up,
Hawkinson has like 3 targets each of the last 2 weeks. Like, why?
Well, because you know me, I mocked you for wanting to play Hawkinson in week 2.
Yeah,
which you did, and he got 1 point. But anyway, the reason why I played him was because Danny Amendola didn't play, and the Detroit beat writers basically were speculating that he was going to be the primary slot wide receiver. And he played some in the slot, he played some in line. But another thing is the replacements for Danny Amendola. Let me throw this out to you guys. The one guy was Marvin Hall. You ever heard of him?
Nope.
And the other guy was someone. The other guy was someone who literally was not even listed on the Detroit Lions like official depth chart on their website. It goes by the name of Tom Kennedy. I had to add him to our sheets on Daily Roto, and I was literally like, this guy can't be real. I gave him a 0% market share because I was like, there's no way they're going to target this guy. I hope they didn't.
Speaking of market share, Will Disley had double the targets of the next closest guy on Seattle. He had 8.
So now we are officially to a point now where I'm like, okay, Will Disley is a thing that like I should start considering, but also I cannot play these gross, like the narratives that like the guy who's been losing for like 16 slates in a row is like, this is how I'm finally going to get back to even. The flow chart, dude, you got to get the tight ends against Arizona. It's like, I can't play that guy just on principle.
I mean, so the reason I didn't do it is because I didn't want to have Lockett and Disley and not Russ. And then because that doesn't make that much sense, right? And then
you can't go two of the pass catchers in cash and not have the QB.
Yeah, it just like seems, I don't know, kind of back asswards. And then, I didn't want to have all 3 of them, the parts of the passing game against Seattle. So I like Disley, and I would have played him if I thought construction worked. And
what is it about Waller that people aren't getting here? Like, we're now going to be in week 5. Like, the dude is literally leading all tight ends.
I think it's literally
target share, weighted opportunity rating, all these, and he's athletic. He's not even an old man tight end. He's like a legitimate like.
It's that he was not drafted high in seasonal fantasy football. I'm not even kidding you.
Really? I mean, this dude used to be.
I really do think
nothing about him that I want to not play.
And like the price hike. People don't like to play the 5K tight ends. They prefer to punt or play Kelsey.
That is a fact. That's very, very true. And think of the mid-tier guys like him and Austin Hooper, both smashed up today, right?
Dude, Austin Hooper is just like Austin Hooper is having a crazy fantasy year. He's crushing.
Well, I mean, he's catching like 88% of his passes, and it's just like
sustainable per Michael Thomas's data.
Yeah, he's the tight end Michael Thomas. Well, yeah. Michael Thomas is a tight end, so.
Yeah.
No, he's definitely not. He's like 1.5% above every expected point right now. I'll fade Hooper the rest of the year for sure.
I mean, I fade Hooper just because pretty much in tournaments, I'm just always correlating my quarterbacks with tight ends. Like I just have the tight ends in the group, or it's Evan Ingram, I guess.
And you didn't want Matt Ryan, who like can't throw a single touchdown at home against Tennessee.
Yeah, apparently not. So anyway, I think your guys' play was fine. I played TJ Hawkinson because I thought that was a good way to get maybe a little bit of leverage on Kerryon Johnson, who I knew was going to be owned and who I did not have. They probably would be competing for some of those like red zone touches. And also I thought he was going to be the slot wide receiver for 3.3K.
I like Davis with the cash game leverage plays.
Yeah.
It's slick.
On running backs that were under 30% owned in cash.
But you know that you're not going to have the dude, and you know that people you're going to be playing against are going to have the guy.
Yeah, when I'm scared of making a fade in cash, what I do is try to double down and leverage it.
Well, it's not about being scared. It's about putting your lineup in the position to make the most money. You guys really don't think of stuff like that?
Not in cash games. You're an idiot.
Why would you not think about that?
Davis, move along.
Davis, move on.
No, I'm
That's
clearly
not
right.
a good take. No, this is not a good take. When you fade a high-owned running back and you say, what I want to do is leverage and double down on the fact that I'm fading a high-owned value running back who's going to see high-value touches.
So you are making your lineup correlate better with the path that your lineup is telling. If your lineup is saying, I don't think Kerryon Johnson is going to reach value relative to these other players, you would want other parts of your lineup to correspond with that.
No, in cash games, you would want to be adequately hedged against that so that when you're wrong.
Dude, I'm not trying to live the 19 hedge life like Drew Dinkmeyer. That's not me. I'm not trying to run out 16 cash lineups with different 1v1s.
Davis also put his cash lineup in the Millie Maker with all his leverage.
Oh no, I don't do that anymore. I don't reg my cash lineup in some of the single entry GVPs just because I'd like stone myself to death if I scored like 215 and it wasn't at anything.
Yeah.
Okay, so defense.
I thought Hawkinson was fine. I just think it was dumb reasoning. Yeah. You play him with over leverage.
Yeah, and just play Disley.
Yeah.
I mean, I played him because he was the best value in our projections.
Yeah, he was a good play.
All right, defense. So I told everyone in like the Daily Roto Slack chat, I was like, I made a play so bad just because I wasn't paying attention that I literally, you have to listen to the podcast to get to it. So what I did was I played the only defense that played at home that fit in my lineup, and that was the Buffalo Bills at home to Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. They only lost the 1v1 to the Panthers by 11 points, I think. So
Bro!
That was good.
Bro! Why did you play the Bills against the Patriots, or like the most efficient offense in like NFL, and never turn the ball over and never get sacked?
I just clicked a home team.
What do you mean you just clicked?
I don't understand. You work on these lineups all week long.
Yeah,
How
what
do
are
you end
you
up
doing?
with the defense?
So the highest projected defense and the lowest projected defense are split by about 2 points on a 50th percentile outcome. So it's just one of those things where I, like it just can't. My thinking was the good defenses this week were the Chargers, the Patriots, and the Rams. And other than that, and I liked the Broncos too, but they did not fit my lineup salary cap wise. And honestly, I liked the Panthers too, but I just had the leftover salary cap, and it was just one of those things where I couldn't get up to another tight end I liked. I couldn't get up from Trey Quinn. So it was either
Sammy Watkins in, so he played the Bills and Sammy Watkins.
I had to fit Sammy Watkins in, so I was left with 2,700 at defense, and the under $2,700 defenses were all bad. They were all projected for under 5 points, so I just clicked the one playing at home.
Wait, how much was the Bills?
2,600.
You paid $2,600 for the Bills
over the
It was
Panthers.
just the one. I mean, obviously, I should have just played the Panthers.
Oh my God!
Over the Titans.
This is
going up against.
insanity.
This is.
It's not good.
Bro,
Luckily, it didn't end up mattering.
Zero sacks. They did get one red zone, like a turnover, an interception off Brady in the end zone, which is like.
I mean, Brady was horrible, but it doesn't it's not something that I thought that really outside of the Chargers defense, everyone was pretty much the same. And the Broncos.
This is the wildest thing I've ever. This is like real U.S. dollars you're putting on the line, and you're like.
Well, I think the range of outcomes is. So I just flipped a coin and just said, "What the heck?" Like, what?
just click the Bills.
The defenses, dude, they're really not that projectable.
Well, I understand, but the Bills. There's other teams that you could have taken that you could have seen projectable outcomes with like high potential, like. So the Panthers going up against Deshaun Watson, who gives up sacks left and right.
Deshaun Watson led the league in sacks last year, and I think he leads the league again this year.
Oh, I have no argument. The Panthers were clearly the play. It just was hard for me to leave 400.
You could have taken the Titans going up against Matt Ryan and his boldness. There's so many other teams you could have played. I literally don't even.
So let's talk about that psychological thing for a second, right? Forget that there's this like money difference. You would take Carolina over the Bills all day, right?
Yeah, it was just completely a psychological DraftKings thing.
Yeah, you just didn't want to
you
leave
had
a
the
couple
money.
$100 on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, that's honestly pretty fishy, bro. Like you gotta.
Oh, it wasn't good.
This play.
Luckily, it was defense and it didn't kill you. But
I mean, the Panthers scored 14 points.
Yeah, the Panthers were huge. I obviously should have just left. And like the Panthers were my highest defense in tournaments and everything. So,
dude,
yeah,
and then you just play Disley, who he was chalk, but like you get some.
I played 15.
Yeah,
I played 1,500 lineups today and didn't play Will Disley in one of them.
yeah.
I literally nuked him. I didn't play him in Showdown. I didn't play him in all day. I didn't play him at 4 p.m. I was not gonna be one of those people.
Davis is gonna be selling blood for lineups next week.
No, dude. I guess I didn't smash.
We all had a good week.
It was a good week.
I mean, that's the thing. We all still made mistakes, and yet.
You go Panthers, Sammy?
Yeah, I went Panthers.
Shoot, I went Broncos. I liked Panthers too, and I had them in a bunch of tournament teams. I just ended up on Broncos because I felt best.
The Broncos were the team that I wanted to play in cash. That was where I was trying to get to, but I just couldn't. I couldn't figure it out. Also, the other team I wanted to play was the Falcons or the Colts, who I think they got negatives. I think those two teams got I think those teams got negatives. So, yeah, clearly it was absolutely egregious for me to click the Bills. But literally, we don't like defenses. It is the most random element of fantasy scoring because if there were ways to tie it more to stuff that was not as event based, it would be a little bit better, but there's no way. Like if you got you could get like half a point for like 4 and outs or 3 and outs or whatever. Like, I don't know. There would be ways to make it more projectable, but the sites are not interested in doing that.
Yeah. Like the only way you can like project them real well is to like not play whoever's playing the New England Patriots.
It's true. I would advise not doing that.
Like that's the thing. It's also floor and median projection, but it's also upside. Like they have just so little of a chance of like returning a touchdown or like having 5 sacks or whatever. Like that's just like such a outlandish range of outcome thing that they'll never hit, you know?
I guess the upside is that if you think that the only way the Bills are going to score is the only way the Patriots are going to score is by so many defensive touchdowns, that's not going to count against your TST.
The Bills, I need the record to show the Bills like almost won this game outright with Matt Barkley in at quarterback.
Did Josh Allen get hurt?
Yeah, he got hurt.
Got a concussion. This is going to be the worst Patriots offensive game of the year, and it won't even be close. This will be their worst. This will be their worst offensive game by 200 yards, probably.
Yeah. So I have a question. Are we all like playing Leonard Fournette for the next couple of weeks as he's going to be underpriced probably still?
Probably. I mean,
we got to start playing.
People know now that he rumbled.
Oh my dude! What? All right. What do you guys think Fournette's price is at Carolina?
6.2.
6.4.
Yeah.
Oof. Might need to play him.
There's some wild prices here. James Conner, 6,200. How the mighty have fallen, bro.
Kind of out on the Steelers offense right now.
What if they smash Monday night?
Jam them in.
I mean, Cincinnati is 0-3. They're horrible. The Steelers are favored in this game. It is not inconceivable. Well, I don't want to say they should do it. I mean, this Mason Rudolph kid, I don't think he's any good at all.
I can't believe the Steelers are favored against anybody. Like, that's wild.
You got Juju and Connor. Just give them the ball.
Dude, all of our teams that we root for are bad.
Yeah, they really are.
What do you mean? You're a Chiefs fan.
I'm not.
I mean, the Bears defense is legitimately good. But
yeah, but I mean,
as far as our
Chase Daniels is not good.
Yeah, but bro, like I root for a team that is going to have like this super high draft pick and already traded it away. for
you're clearly the worst. My offensive coordinator just like looked Sean Payton in the eye and just decided he wasn't up to snuff, and he just gave up. I really do think
that some surrender index.
I think
that I was dying at.
And Nate's team traded up from the 3rd pick to the 2nd pick. When the Rams were never going to take Mitch.
You looked at Patrick Mahomes and said,
up and didn't take Mahomes or Watson and traded up for Mitch Trubisky. That's what happened.
They traded up for David Montgomery, and then they drafted another running back in the 6th round, and that running back already got cut. They gave Mike Davis $6 million, and he was a game day inactive today because they decided Cordarrelle Patterson's better.
Yeah, the Bears are fish.
Yeah, Davis's I think was like personal reasons. I think I heard something like that. Anyway, Montgomery gets workload. Montgomery had like 28.
Yeah, he had 21 carries. Tarek Cohen had 5. CP had 2. Montgomery had 5 targets in the passing game. However, he's bad. So like,
it doesn't matter if you're going to get that much touches and you're going to be under 5K.
I think if your offense is bad and you're bad, and I don't like that's not. It's certainly not the combination you'd choose.
This is the logic that gets you into fading Leonard Fournette
and Wayne Gallman.
Yeah, this is the logic that gets you into fading.
Well, I never really actually thought Gallman was bad, but the Giants had a good team total, and I don't care
if Gallman is good or bad.
Montgomery is going to be a lock next week.
Yeah, he's at the Raiders as 5-point favorite.
Davis is sitting here telling us all the reasons we can't play David Montgomery. Oh.
I think that you should consider like the fact that Montgomery seems like he's going to be a historically like not efficient player, or at least has been thus far
in his massive sample at the NFL level.
Well, it's not like he has good offensive context to help him out with any of this. He's going to have Chase Daniel as his quarterback.
I think play caller matters quite a bit. I think
Nagy looks like a donk.
No,
Nagy looks like a donk about half the time, and then the other half the time he looks like a genius.
Yeah, that's because half of the plays
are half of them
are to Trubisky's left.
If Nagy had a literally half decent quarterback, everybody would think he's a genius.
Oh, Sammy, that was good. Good.
Thank you.
Oh man. So actually, I was thinking about this. There are no good waiver wire ads this week. No one important got hurt.
That's like good because I've been punting off all my fab all season on crappy players.
Somehow, Sammy, we punted off all of our fab in this league, but we didn't get Philip Lindsay, who was on the wire, or Wayne Gallman.
We have nothing good. It's crazy.
Wait, Philip Lindsay was on the wire?
Yeah, somebody dropped him for Darrell Williams. Like,
people you play.
And then he got fab for like $60 out of 100.
We play in this like 5-part league with these guys from The Athletic.
I mean,
yeah,
it's guys from all over. It's like Kianowski and it's Vlad Sedler and it's DVR and a bunch of different dudes.
Lindsay's like top 10 in running back, like expected points.
Listen, we
dropped him. Just your
Sammy didn't want to bid our whole fab on him. To be frank.
Yeah, I'm an idiot.
Sammy's a fit.
Sammy didn't want to go higher than 36% of our budget on Gallman.
Did you want to save it for Will Dissly?
Duke Johnson, bro. It's fine.
Save it for Will Dissly?
He probably would have added Dissly if it was available. Luckily, our league starts 2 tight ends, and we've been having to freaking start OJ Howard.
Dude, we should drop OJ Howard.
Dude, we should get him. We got to get him out because he's killing us. All right, so I think the point in which we start talking about our season-long fantasy football teams is probably good. Shut it down. All right, everyone, thank you for listening. Please don't be mean to me on the internet about using a random defense. Please don't. And we'll be back, and we'll see you next week.